Throughout this section, I'm going to be taking brief digressions because I find quite often that students get questions in this section wrong, not because they haven't learned about discrete random variables, but because they have some misunderstandings about their earlier work in probability. So here we're going to have a brief digression and we're going to look at estimating probabilities. Not all probabilities can be worked out by using symmetry, as we do with dice, for example. When we have a standard fair cubical die, we know that that die has 6 sides. Therefore, we say the probability of any one particular side coming up is 1 in 6. So that's using symmetry. In these sorts of cases, we may need to perform an experiment, or if that's not possible, such as with car crash data, we may need to use data that has been collected. The case where we might use an experiment, for example, might be a drawing pin experiment, which you may have done at school before. So drawing pins can land pin up or pin down. But the frequency with which this happens, or the relative frequency with which this happens, may vary between different types of drawing pin. Also, there's no symmetry here that we can use like we can with a die. Probabilities calculated in this way are known as relative frequencies. It's the relative frequency of something happening. So for example, if you toss the drawing pins 1,000 times and this one happens 470 times, then the relative frequency is 470 out of 1,000, and that's your best estimate of probability. So the relative frequency for an event is the number of times the event occurs, as we saw here with the 470 pin up, over the total number of observations. We said that we tossed the drawing pins 1,000 times. So that's the frequency of the event divided by the total frequency.